Hey guys, and welcome back to Specter of Torment. Blight the Earth, indeed. Yes, we are starting with what would usually be the final stage of Shovel Knight and Plague Knight's campaigns. What of it? I felt like challenging myself while being garbed in the most casual-friendly armor to date.
I mean, it is a neat change of pace that you can pretty much pick which stage you want, and as a result, every stage does have to be, rebalanced to make sure you kind of complete it with your basic kick. I also saved Propeller Knight's stage for the last one, because I felt it was appropriate, and again, his boss fight gave me the most trouble because of all the fucking pits that happens. I guess it's just gonna be his theme, throughout all of these campaigns, you know what I mean?
Well, it's funny you say that. I found this stage and Propeller Knight himself as a boss much easier with Specter Knight's, playstyle and toolkit. It's mostly the diagonal slash, I'm gonna be honest with you.
That's true, yeah, that's kind of what tripped me up. I want to go back and briefly talk about, that thing I was talking about last time, the body swap mode.
Ah, yes, yeah.
And I was telling you that, because of the way it's set up, you don't have to make everybody male or female. You can actually select who you want to be male or female. And as a result, each of the characters has their own, unique gender swap design. And some of them I actually prefer over their male equivalents. Like, a Treasure Knight, I'm not a big fan of his, normal design. But female Treasure Knight actually has a really cool kind of, trench coat theme, and she's got, a Black Manta-styled shaped helmet. Have you seen those designs? Any of the designs for the gender-flipped Order of No Quarter?
I have not, but I'm looking them up now. Female Treasure, not Hunter, Knight.
Let me just go ahead and spell this out for the benefit of everybody watching.
Well, that's what the wiki is for, I suppose. Will it show me the female equivalent? No, it will not. It will forever remain a mystery. Oh, wait, no! Body swap Treasure Knight. Yeah, that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, and actually, it's also appropriate that we are doing a Specter Knight, because I actually find female Specter Knight's design to be a little bit better, actually. I like the longer flowing robes and how it looks more feminine. And you never really see that where it's a Specter of the Dead comes back to kind of do shit. You never see it as a female version, and I actually really like that design. So you can pretty much play this however you want. I think, even though I'll be honest with you, it's ultimately kind of a bonus little feature that you don't really need. It's kind of cool you can do that in a way to kind of customize your game. And if you do feel like you do want more female presence in this game, you do have options. So I think it's the best of both worlds in this case.
Okay.
As for this particular version of the stage itself, it's not as bad, like I said. It is, again, easier to to make sure everybody can kind of get through it properly with, the basic equipment. There's still a lot of the pit problems, which is prevalent every stage, but Specter Knight has some good abilities that let him kind of bypass some of the bullshit. He can slash through the cannonballs, which is a godsend, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. Anything else to follow up that, or he can slash good? Is that the summation of this level?
Well, I would certainly hope that somebody who has a giant scythe that they kind of fling around would be able to slash good with that scythe. You never get in a situation where you fight against a boss who has a scythe, but he's actually really shit with that and had another weapon that he does better with.
Oh, I kind of want someone to implement that into, a boss fight now. The scythe is too heavy or some bullshit.
He's just sitting there give me a minute here, let me go ahead and kind of try to figure this out. This is the first time I've used this, I apologize.
Yeah, because you see it with, hammer or, axe-wielding enemies all the time, oh, give me a sec, oh, gotta heave it up, boom! Really, really massive amounts of damage, but not so much with a scythe. It's always portrayed as being a very light weapon, and it is a very big bladed weapon, so who knows, maybe one day Anton will get his wishes.
Well, a lot of the scythes you see in, fiction anyway are stylized. Scythes in, real life are actually very simple, not nearly as vicious looking. A basic kind of farmer's tool, really improvised to be used as a weapon only in dire straits, but it's not ideal as a weapon. You'd be much better off with just a pointy stick, basically, and not have to worry about the blade being curved on the end, you know what I mean?
What's the difference between a sickle and a scythe?
The letters?
Good point, well made. I don't actually have any counter for that. I didn't come prepared to answer such questions in this playthrough. Now, this part here, you're going to want to be very careful because there are spikes. Spikes kill you. This has been the HellfireComms playthrough of Specter of Torment. That's it. I've told you everything. I have no more knowledge. It's over.
Yeah, actually, I have a question since I didn't use this butt ugly suit. If you hit spikes, does it also kick in with the effect, or does it just kill you?
It kills you.
Okay, alright, I was just making sure. So this only applies to pins. Alright, got it.
Well, no. If you hit spikes, you die, you come back so long as you have, you know, will and darkness to spare. So it's kind of a catch-all, save-all sort of armor. Okay,
I was just checking in that regard.
What are those little things that he picks up? I've heard someone say they're like apple cores, rotten apple cores, because, you know, the smaller health pick up, that Shovel Knight and Plague Knight pick up are apples, so it would make sense, you know?
Yeah, those are rotten apple cores if you look closely, and the other bigger ones he picks up are just like the chicken, but instead they're the bones. Now, yeah. I don't personally plan to be somebody who is a revenant and I come back from the dead to serve some Dark Master, but I don't know about you, but even if I lose my ability to kind of taste food, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, apple cores, give me some of that shit, you know what I'm saying?
Delicious.
I'm still gonna be going to the convenience store. I may be a rotting corpse, but I'm gonna say, I'm gonna get some Mountain Dew and I'm gonna get some chocolate donuts, okay?
That would be fun to see. Just seeing, like, the fucking ghost of Christmas future rocking up down the cereals aisle. Oh, I am still French, n'est-ce pas? Even in the past.
Not a huge fan of Propeller Knight's female design variant, but I'm not a big fan of Propeller Knight in general, I'll be honest with you. Mostly because his fights are usually bullshit to me.
Really? He's probably one of my favorite members of the Order of No Quarter.
Well, I guess he's got that pomp and circumstance, and he's got the whole, you know, Inspector Gadget kind of thing with the helicopter, and I can see the appeal in that.
Why'd you have to say that? Now he's completely ruined brown bricks in Minecraft.
Well, you already ruined it a little bit by making him French.
Well, he speaks with a French accent. What do you want from me? Oh, great, drastic scene changes. Oh, yes, please, Specter of Torment.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. It's a cool way to spice up the Propeller Knight boss fight. And I believe, if I recall correctly, it's been so long since I fought him. But didn't, like, Kratos do this when you fought him in the PS3 version of the game?
Now, we never covered the, you know, console-exclusive fights, but I seem to remember, I'll borrow a leaf out of your book and say, oh, yes, I can see it in the forefront of my mind. Yes, and thus he is dead, and I am right.
Yeah, you do that way better. I always got thrown off by how floaty it gets during this phase, so it's very easy to me to accidentally kind of miss the platforms and just fall to my death. And I wasn't using the butt ugly costume, so obviously I had to repeat it a lot.
This is the costume, the butt ugly costume.
Was that a reference to butt ugly Martians?
Oh, I wish it wasn't, but alas, such memories have a way of sticking in your mind and never ever leaving.
Alright, so, let's see what we can get here. I think, there's like an Orb of Destruction sort of thing over there, which is okay, not my favorite. My favorite curios are probably the healing one, obviously. The throwing sickle is good for kind of long-range stuff. There's one you get later that actually burned me way more, but when I was watching ahead a little bit, you actually use it to really impressive effect, so I kind of reevaluate my opinion.
I know exactly what you mean. It kind of breaks the game a little bit, at least in terms of the action levels. Not so much the bosses, obviously, but I won't spoil anything. We'll see it when we see it.
Yeah, it won't be too long. I mean, like, this is like so many parts, but each part is pretty short, so we'll get there in due time.
I was kind of kicking myself, because this dude wants his wife's skull back, and I believe you can find it at a certain point. You have to find all the red skulls in order to locate it, and I missed it, but the Game Grumps have got it, and it's a pretty fun scene, but won't be in this playthrough. Sorry lads, couldn't get the real THD back, couldn't get the real dance scene, I apologise.
I actually found that scene. I believe I found that skull. I think the one you picked up in Propeller Knight's stage, once you have enough skulls, is the one. It may change, I don't know exactly off the top of my head, but I do remember getting that scene.
Well, the Grumps found it in, I believe, Tower of Fate 1, you know, the first of the final stages, so, who knows. The Dread Talon gives you a bit of a charging slash. Not really my cup of tea. I've already got a close range attack with the scythe, so, what you gotta do? You can use it to get a little bit of air maneuverability, which is nice.
You'll get a move later on anyway that gives you a much better ranged melee attack, which lets you rush in, so I really don't see the point of the Dread Talon, I'll be honest with you.
No, we have very, very strong opinions about curios in this game. Please do not like, comment, and unsubscribe.
I know, man, that's just gonna devastate us.
That chick's there, just in case you miss any, like, wisps and whatnot in stages. You can just buy them off her, which I think is a really cool anti-frustration feature, otherwise they would just be locked off from you if you couldn't find them. They're not really hard to find anyway, but anything that gives me more fun for less hassle is good in my books.
There are these gems down here. You can actually knock one loose and kind of knock it around. I don't know if they do anything. I could not really find if they interacted with anything in this area. If somebody knows, let me know, because obviously I missed something.
Oh my god. Ah, it's a zombie! He be Legion!
It's full of Heartless. That's a scary thought.
It's sad, but that's what came to my mind first when I was first playing the game.
Okay, so this one gives upgrades. Some of the upgrades, again, aren't really worth it, in my opinion. First priority is to upgrade the Will Skull, in my opinion, because the better healing you can get, the better.
The Coward Sphere. Nice.
And a lot of the upgrades will also have the side benefit of recovering gold when they touch it, which can be useful if you're not using the butt-ugly armor like Tom is here. I like this, actually, because it's kind of a reference to how they used to censor mentions of alcohol in Nintendo games and say it's like a juice bar or something like that. I thought that was a neat little touch.
Is that deliberate, do you think, or are you just reading too much into it?
I think it's deliberate. I mean, Yacht Club Games, they've got their shit together, so I think it was a deliberate thing.
Okay.
Each boss has like an indicator of how much money you could earn when you beat them, so I thought that was kind of an indicator of how easy they are. But you just decided to do Propeller Knight first because you're nuts that way.
Indeed, indeed. We'll see you next time for another part of Shovel Knight Specter of Torment.